We have some breaking news to tell you about right now. A huge fire, massive fire, sparked in Springfield.
And we're told this is happening along South F Street in Springfield. You're about to see some home video that was sent in along with some pictures. We do have a crew on the way. We're working to get you more information about what's going on. We are going to take a live picture here in just a moment from our Skycam, and you can see just how much smoke is coming out of that area. Again, this is South F Street and 15th in Springfield. It was just started probably 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, about 3:45 we started getting some calls in and hearing some reports on the radio. And at this point, this fire is so massive. And again, this is a live picture in the South F and 15th area in Springfield. They are blocking off a large number of roads. And a number of you have been sending us pictures, and we're trying to get those onto our sources to show those to you as soon as possible. But again, this is a live picture, and this is a developing story, a breaking story.
And we are learning more about the breaking news situation in Springfield, the fire that broke out about 20 minutes before 5. We do know now that it was at Springfield Forest Products. And boy, if you take a look here, it's easy to see why roads have been closed off all around that area of South F Street and 15th.
Now, South F and 15th is where the initial calls were made for all of the emergency responders to head towards, but obviously this is a widespread area now with the amount of smoke that is coming up. We have been told, we've seen reports that maybe 15 to 20 blocks square blocked off, keeping traffic out. Springfield police asking everyone to stay out of the area. Eugene, Springfield Fire responding. KEZI 9 News reporter Brian Richardson joins us live with the very latest in this amazing scene. Brian?
Is still very much developing right now. I'm going to step aside so you can get a good look of what is going on here right now. You can still see the large plume of smoke. There are still very, very visible flames, estimating 20 feet high right now, but this is as close as we can get right now. So that's really and truly a guess. We have yet to talk to fire officials. Police are keeping us at bay, so we have yet to get the details from them. But what we have been able to understand so far is from the group of employees who came walking right by us, the employees who were inside of Swanson Group Manufacturing at the time of this fire. We are going to bring them in. We have Nick King here and Laura Reno. Guys, if you can, come here. Nick, first off, explain what you saw about 4:40 when this fire started.
Well, we had an electrical fire that spread to dust, which totally engulfed the mill in about 5 minutes.
Describe, I guess, the heat. What did you experience? Put me inside of the mill there at the time of the fire.
It's like, you know, when you get a flame up when you're cooking a burger on your grill, but by times a million, and it's just chasing you out the door.
And then, Laura, bring you in here. What did you experience? Where were you at the time of this fire when it started?
It was already going, and I was just clocking in at 4:42 because my shift starts at 4:45. And as soon as I clocked in, my boyfriend, who's a millwright, pushed me through the break room, about fell on my butt, and told me not to go in there.
What did you see? What did you hear?
I seen our dryers totally engulfed. The ceiling of the whole mill was totally engulfed, and it was going towards the spreaders where Nick works. It was everywhere. So I went through the lunchroom, and I looked for my boyfriend and didn't see him. So I opened the door back up, big mistake, big smoke everywhere. And he was grabbing a fire hose to put it out.
And you guys, you were here probably 10, 15 minutes ago behind this fence here. You just recently walked out. I saw you guys clapping, reliefs. There were some hugs. I can't imagine the emotion. You also had an employee meeting here. What did you guys discuss, and have you guys learned anything about the employees who are also inside of there? Do you know if everybody made it out safely?
There was no employees left inside. Everybody made it out safe. We have 2 different evacuation points, so the employee meeting was gathering information of who was at what evacuation point and making sure all heads are accounted for. That way we know everybody was safe.
And then as you guys gather here, I mean, you guys have some incredible stories to share. What do you guys do now as employees here talking with each other?
Now we just try and figure out what we're going to do tomorrow. Big old pile up at the employment department, find out where we're going. We're not really sure yet. We haven't been told anything except for there's going to be a bus taking us to our cars that a lot of us don't even have keys for because our keys are in the lunchroom and our lunch boxes with our house keys, and just kind of at a loss.
Yeah, it's not easy, and this thing just continues, the smoke continues to kind of billow up here, and doesn't look like it's going to be going out anytime soon. Guys, thank you so much for joining here.
One good thing, though, is I'm on the safety committee, and we just had a meeting yesterday about the 5-second rule, and this has nothing to do with it, thank God. It wasn't anybody's fault. It was just an accident.
As of right now, it's good. So far, we know everybody made it out safely, so that is good. That is very good. We have yet to officially talk to fire officials or police officials. When we get that word, we will bring that to you. We will also have the latest information coming up here on KEZI 9 News at 6:30. Reporting live now, I'm Brian Richardson, KEZI 9 News.
We want to head to Sarah Hurwitz now, who is reporting live on the scene.
All right, Sarah, give us a different perspective from where you're at and the folks that are around you at this time.
Well, traffic is really starting to pick up here now. The street 28th is actually blocked off, but a plume of smoke was actually starting to settle over portions of Springfield. But as you can see, the wind has really taken off and that smoke is starting to travel. But at this intersection, like I mentioned, they do have 28th blocked off. Cars have had to move out of the way for a number of emergency vehicles to come through here on 28th. Now, we are told that this happened just before 5 o'clock at Springfield Forest Products, and that there is an evacuation in effect for a mile around 26th and M Street. Now, this is a developing story. Of course, we will bring you the latest updates right now throughout the evening, 6:30, 11 o'clock. Back to you. Jennifer Richardson joining us live now here in the studio, and you've done a lot of work. You actually spoke with somebody from Swanson's group.
Yeah, I just got off the phone with Chuck Wertz, we don't know. He is the COO of the company. He actually is driving up from Roseburg right now, was on the road, and he did say that there are 250 people at that location. It was a full swing shift. He didn't know how many employees were working, but they are making sure that everyone is okay. As we saw in Brian's report, it sounds like everyone is okay. Now, the CEO says that the Swanson Group has 4 plants in the state of Oregon, and their biggest concern right now, of course, is for safety of everyone there. And then he said, second, once all that is and made sure that everyone's okay, that will be jobs, because as you heard, there will be many people without jobs. And we did ask him if there were any other chemicals on site that would pose a concern, and he did not know at this time. We will continue to follow up with that. And one addition to that, we talked about, and we watched this smoke plume drift to the south. I spoke with a Joanne in Cresswell. She said 1 inch to 2 inch wide or square long pieces of burnt paper are falling in her neighborhood. And you asked Chuck if maybe that would be toxic or chemical, and he said he didn't know, he didn't think so, but like he said, he was driving up and he's trying to get all the information. Like he said, #1 priority right now is employees, and he did not know how many were working there, but they do have 4 plants.
Well, this fire has been sending that plume of smoke into the air for about an hour and a half now. So let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Justin Stapleton to see how it might affect air quality in our area.
No, certainly, Matt, Renee. Well, the air quality within that block radius, as we mentioned, anywhere from about 26 to M Street, even if you go as further south, as Matt mentioned. I'll give you the wind direction in a second here. So folks that are watching us within, let's say, that area radius, or if you're just outside of that, give you an idea of what exactly is happening. A couple of things to talk about. One, it is warm outside. Temperatures right now, just checked, at about 88 to 92 degrees in a couple of the reporting stations. Second thing that we need to talk about as well is the wind direction. Most of the winds across the Eugene-Springfield area are coming in out of the north and northwest, or north and northeast, excuse me. So basically, we've got winds coming in like this. Now, we also have winds that are sort of coming in down from the north. So that's where, as Matt had mentioned, you see the smoke plume heading north and then pushing further south. And so the bigger concern with that as well, not only is our air quality in a moderate category from El Rapa, and that's basically because it's just been very stagnant and high pressure and control of our area for the last couple of days. The other concern we have with this as well is for folks within that mile radius. Let's zoom in a little closer and I'll basically show you there's the general direction of the general location of the fire. And if you go anywhere from about M Street, it goes across towards Mohawk, split it down to about 26, which is over to here, and then all the way down. So everything within this sort of 1 mile radius here, and especially the ones to the south. I would say E Street, as you go further south of that, working your way down towards 18th, and then again C, B, and then over towards D, East Street, and then possibly even the folks out towards I Street, 28th, and then as you get further east of that out towards 30th, could certainly, an Industrial Avenue as well, all of that smoke could be working that way. The other concern we mentioned, as Matt mentioned a second ago, viewer calling into him, and Cresswell saying that she's getting bits of sort of burnt pieces of paper. It is extremely dry outside, so if you happen to be within that block or just to the south and southeast of that, as they continue to whatever debris or leftovers from this fire continue to push southward. If you happen to see any of that burning, certainly either if it's something that's very small, do your best to try to put it out. If not, certainly let your local authorities know as soon as you can. All right, so temperatures, as we mentioned right now, still sitting in the 80s across the region. I don't expect any concern about winds picking up, with the exception of just around the fire, which can sort of create its own little wind pattern, but also something that we'll be watching is the dryness and, of course, the air quality as well. I'll have much more coming up on not only your forecast here, but any new developments we have weather-wise with this breaking news and fire as well. I'll have that coming up in just a couple minutes.
Hey, this is Tim Garner filling in for Sarah at the moment. She's attempting to get more information. But I'm here with Doug, who was working at the plant at the time that this went down. Sir, what can you tell me about this?
Well, it was an in-feed fire from dryer 3. It had to have started somewhere on top of the dryer where there's usually layers of dust. It's like pixie dust that goes up like flames, obviously. So it went up, and we got the feeder, we got him out, and Savano, the utility guy, we got him out. He was way too close to it. And that's about it. And it went up, it went to the roof, went straight to the rafters, and it headed toward the green end of our mill. There's millions and millions and millions of dollars of finished product done. It's still on fire. It's gone. Swanson Group's gone. Literally gone. It hasn't hit the boiler yet, but the boiler is steamy, and it's gonna catch, and when it does, it's gonna blow, because we can't get to it to turn anything off, any oil or gas or anything like that. There's propane tanks, acetylene tanks that you can hear blowing from way out here. You can hear them. And
how did you feel as you saw this happening? What was your first thought?
My first thought is my life is going to be over if I don't get out of here and get my friends out of here. Their lives are going to end. They got families. I got a family, and it's a bad situation. Very bad.
Do you have any ideas what your next step is going to be?
My next step is going to be finding another job. Go to a temp agency through Select Temp, where I got hired here. Only been hired a month, and the mill's gone, and go somewhere else, unless they decide to rebuild and we decide to go back to work at this plant. But I don't see it happening. It's pretty much gone. I don't see any rebuilding happening, and that's pretty much all I gotta say. It's all of it in a nutshell. Everybody's out. There was only one person that went to the hospital. I don't know why they went, but they went anyway. It could be smoke inhalation. People were running. We went to the different spots where we're supposed to evacuate. We kept on getting pushed back by the log scales. And I said, I went through the barrier bars and said, hold it. I got on the railroad tracks, and I'm out.
Just got out of there.
I just got out of there. I made sure my friends were all safe and stuff. And
well, Doug, I'm very sorry about this, but I do appreciate your time.
I appreciate it.
Thanks again.
All right.
Matt and Renee, back to you in the studio.
All right, Tim filling in there. Nice job, Tim. There are dozens of pictures there. Justin Stapleton has been kind of sorting through those pictures tonight and joins us in the Weather Center with a couple of the big ones.
I do, Matt, Renee. In fact, this was sent in from Victor Hernandez. This was probably, I'd say, he had posted this about 15 minutes ago, so my guess is still when we were seeing some of the heavy flames. And he said in his comments there he had to back off away from where he was standing because it was just getting too hot. At that point, my guess is the emergency personnel personnel came in as well. Just got another one that came in. We'll see if I can get that posted here in a second. This one's from Mirandia Hayes. She said she could see it from her porch, basically back in behind her apartment complex. The smoke plume still very, very active. This is from Brandon Brasler. As you can tell, he was very, very close at the time. Not sure if he was actually working there or similar to what our master control operator Charlie was dealing with. Somebody who lives very, very close to that. But
you know that the evacuation order has been lifted at this point. And as we head to our break tonight and wrap things up, we want to also inform you that you can always go to our website at KEZI.com, go to Facebook. We've got all the latest information there. We've got pictures. And of course, we will have the very latest on this fire coming up tonight on KEZI 9 News at 11 o'clock with live reports again with Sarah Hurwitz.
All right, be safe. We'll see you back here tonight at 11 o'clock.